Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and legionnaires of all ages, welcome to Takeover the Table, Episode 3. Tonight, we are visiting London. And tonight, I am Nick the Geek, and I'm, of course, joined by my two co-conspirators. Well, one co-conspirator, the other one is currently elsewhere in his house.
I'm trying to get where we are to start.
That's fine. Get to you in a minute, mate. We are joined, of course, by the Cap. 350.
Yes.
We're joined. How are you, Cap?
Doing good. My nephew had his first baseball game yesterday, so I was absolutely just, over the moon happy. Yesterday was also the Kentucky Derby. My horse didn't win, but anywho, is also Maddie's first Kentucky Derby, so it was nice to get to do that with him. Today, getting more of my education with the NXT takeovers, and then going to make, as we were just discussing, some shepherd's pie. And also got baseball tonight, so it's going to be a busy.
So, Cap, today we are watching Oscar versus Emma. This is kind of right at the start of Oscar's run, so this is their first match.
I believe Oscar's first pay-per-view match, no? Or was that the pay-per-view before?
No, I think this is the first one. Wait a minute. No, the Mickey James match might have been her first one.
Yeah, you're right.
I do love me some Oscar.
So it's Oscar versus Emma. Brilliant little match. Not very long, but it does exactly what it needs to do. We will also be watching The Revival, who are versus Enzo and Cass, which is, in my opinion, the worst match on the card.
It was between that and Bayley and Nia.
Yeah, Bayley and Nia, I thought I'd give a pass to because Nia was green as a gourd at this point.
It was
still is.
It was Nia's first. It was Nia's
Not much has changed there.
Was it her
She's
first?
a bit better now.
It
was Nia's first pay-per-view.
She's only injured 2 people this year, I believe, as opposed to half a dozen.
Which is
I know it's her first. I know this was her first takeover, but was this her first match?
Yes. She got brought in by Eva Marie, which kind of a bodyguard to take on Bayley because Eva Marie's horrendous. And of course, the main event, Captain, we should be watching Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor.
Yes.
Which is an absolutely astounding piece of work from both men. Joe could really go still at this point.
Yeah. And this is my favorite era of Finn Balor, so I know I'm going to enjoy that.
It's superb.
And Joe gets cut open hard way in like 3 minutes into the match.
And just
absolutely throws the referee off of him.
Just sells the shit out of it. It's great. All right, gents.
Selling like he's dead.
Everybody is ready. If everybody is ready, we will start in 3, 2, 1, play.
All right. So got the Oscar mask.
Making your first entrance.
Can I also just say, international crowds are always so much better, so the London crowd really brings everything to this show.
Yeah, it does.
Much like France brought absolutely everything they had to Backlash yesterday.
Backlash was astounding.
Oh, it was so fun.
It was such a good show. And in my opinion, AJ versus Cody was better than Will versus Brian.
I don't know about all that, but it was a damn good match.
It was a damn good match with a damn good story. Brian Danielson's "I'm injured" at the end of the match took away from Will's victory. They don't do any of that in this. AJ just slumps out of the ring in a lot of pain, which is what you should do when you've just lost a big match.
Also, unless you're doing some kind of an angle with the injury.
Which they're not.
Right.
Which they're not, because they announced he's not injured.
There's a time and place to do a stretcher job.
Exactly.
Also, Cody using the Kimura because he's wrestled Brock more than 5 times. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Can someone answer this for me? Why is Asuka's face paint here not nearly as Asuka?
Psycho Clown?
Yeah.
Because
at this point, she wasn't doing the Psycho Clown gimmick.
She wasn't doing Psycho Kana.
Okay.
I forgot Dana Brooke was with them at this point in time.
Dana Brooke is a complete waste of space and should never have been given a job. That's the God's honest truth. Like Tiffany Stratton, who's ugly with no talent.
I think Tiff's got talent.
Emma's whole gear here kind of reminds me a little bit of Dr. Britt Baker. With the glove.
A little bit.
A little bit. Sorry, I can't let that go without sneaking into some De Niro.
Matty, feel free to smoke.
All right.
Literally, until I get monetized, I don't care.
Oh, hey, a really green Chelsea green.
See, I got it. So I'm not switching back and forth. That way I can see you guys. I'll do split screen here.
See, that's what I've done.
And if I'm
but I have my laptop connected to my TV. So I have a big thing of TV, which is why I'm on a slight angle on camera. Because I'm facing
I've got my laptop over here, then I've got my actual monitor here. But so I'm looking at one screen, but technically two different things. How old is Oscar now? 42, 43?
42. I think she's 43 this year. So she was 36, 37 at this point. She's
one of those few ones that working into their 40s still brings it in the matches.
Yeah. It's like AJ. Give a lot of respect.
Nick.
Man's fault.
Nick,
yeah.
I think this is almost a 10-year-old match.
It is.
I think London was early 2015 or either 16. Let me see.
2016, I think. 8 years ago.
Takeover London.
Emma's underrated as well.
Emma is an incredibly underrated wrestler.
She's a great wrestler.
I've never watched Emma.
It took place December 16th, 2015. The end of 2015.
9 years ago.
God.
We're all getting old.
Wrestling just makes
you're both younger than me.
Well, I had the realization of it yesterday because I was at that baseball game. I saw Bryce's grandfather, who's 73, 74, something like that. Then my brother, who's 38, 39, and then me at 37, and then little Bryce at 5. So it's like, holy Lord.
Well, my dad's 80 this year.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
My parents were both young when they had me, so...
Well, I'm the youngest of 4, so my parents were getting on a bit when they had me.
I get that.
But accidents happen, and I'm one of them.
Yes. So am I.
Same. Look at these just exchanges of wrist locks.
I like the exchange, but they look a little sloppy.
Boom.
Well, beautiful. This was Emma's first big match.
Now that was nice.
Back
on
NXT.
Nice.
This was Emma's first match away from the bubble gimmick.
Oh yeah, bubbly Emma.
Yeah.
Dude, see, the thing that a lot of people don't get about pro wrestling is they think it's okay. I slam you, you slam me. It's like, no, we're working together. Like in a move as simple as an arm drag takedown. No, you're not dragging me down by my arm. I'm going with it. It's the symmetry. You're working together. That's why they call it working.
I think over our time doing Takeover the Table, Cap might he already loves Asuka, but I think he's just going to fall in love with her title reign.
Oh, Asuka's title reign is the best women's title reign WWE have done in 20 years.
And then they put Shayna Baszler immediately after that, and it was just as damn good.
It was just as good. Shayna is chronically misused on the main roster, because she's too old.
Unfortunately, it's pretty rare that I see anything Asuka does, and I'm at least not pleased. Sometimes far more than that, but I can't remember a match of hers I've seen where I was like, oh, that was the shits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Asuka has a single one of those matches in NXT.
Asuka's never had a bad match.
Who did Asuka train with over in Japan, by the way?
Who was Asuka's trainer? Was it Hokuto?
No, she's in the Thingy Dojo. Same dojo as Suzuki.
It could be Suzuki's. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Asuka trainer.
Oscar was
By the way, Nick, I have to get your thoughts on this. What did you think of Tony Khan calling WWE the Harvey Weinstein of professional
for God's sake, right? He had the perfect analogy right there with Pepsi and Coke.
Yeah, he could have just
the Pepsi analogy. Pepsi and Coke is the perfect analogy, and then he had to call him the Harvey Weinstein of professional wrestling.
It's like you go straight from soda, sugar, water to rape.
Yeah. It's like Vince may be the Harvey Weinstein of professional wrestling, but WWE
promotions aren't.
The promotion isn't.
WWE is not.
Nick,
I've been referring to Vince lately as the Grand Defecator. The Grand Defecator is no longer there.
It was all over the industry.
It was Yuki Ishikawa. That is
I've heard of Ishikawa.
That's who trained Asuka.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I've heard that name several times. I mean, in good ways. I've heard good things about Ishikawa.
He's still fucking wrestling. He wrestled in the 24 karat tournament in WXW in 2020.
Yeah.
Well, and also like Japanese, Chinese, Asian, they just have some kind of DNA or something in the diet where they live longer, but they live better longer. I don't know if that.
Look at Minoru Suzuki.
A lot of it has to go to their diet. Like they just eat incredibly healthy. Yeah, because Suzuki has been wrestling since before my parents were alive.
Suzuki has been fighting since 1992 because he started in Pancrase and he won Pancrase the first two tournaments, and then he moved on to New Japan and started. Sorry, then he moved on to Noah, and then he moved on to New Japan. But you're right. There's a certain, whether it's the diet, the lifestyle, whatever it is, they live longer than us and they live better than us.
Yeah.
May not always be
those elbow strikes by Asuka. I mean, they're superb. And Emma's working with her great there, but looks like she's laying those things in. But
she's stiff.
Emma doesn't have a mark on her.
That was a good counter by Emma.
Not quite a short arm closed like a Jake Roberts short arm, but
it's still nice
That
nonetheless.
was a damn good lariat, though.
Yeah, more of a lariat than a clothesline. I do stand corrected. I stand Hansen stand corrected.
Oh, what was that I saw the other day on Twitter? I saw they were like, check out this amazing counter from Stan Hansen, and I was like, babe, new Stan Hansen counter clip dropped. Is it a clothesline? Yes, it's a clothesline. Pull it up.
Classic lariat.
Apart from Stan Hansen, and maybe I would say JBL, who's your favorite lariat in pro wrestling?
Barry Windham.
I was going to say either Barry Windham or Dustin Rhodes. One of those.
Barry's flying.
As much as I love Dustin, he was that much better.
Lariat?
Dustin's lariat was just so awesome. Yes, Barry. I would probably go Barry over Dustin there.
I'm trying to.
Would you like? Speaking of the roads, AJ Styles made an interesting record last night.
Oh,
he became the only guy to wrestle Dusty and Dustin in world title. Sorry, and Cody in world title matches.
Dusty, Dustin, and Cody.
No,
in world title
because Dustin's never been in a world title.
Yeah, it's Cody and Dustin. Ever to wrestle them both for the world title.
Cody and Dusty, not Dusty.
Yeah, because AJ Styles wrestled and beat Dusty for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship 24 years ago.
Yes,
in 2004.
When AJ was in TNA, because I know we had a couple of world title runs in TNA. I was thinking, did Dustin have a run in TNA? If he did, it must have been short lived because I can't remember.
He did.
Oh, Dustin had a run in TNA. and it was the worst run in the history of Dustin's career.
I can't remember it, but I would have swore he had a run there. I don't remember anything about it, but for some reason I thought he was there.
He was Black Rain, which was a psychotic silver and black version of Gold Dust that carried a pet rat.
That's right. That's right.
And if you ask him,
PTSD, I just blocked it out of my memory.
If you ask him about it on Twitter, he'll just block you.
Yeah. He blocks everybody that talks about Black Rain. He hates it.
Well, to be fair, that was
because I don't remember it. I mean, the very few times I've replied to something Dustin, it's just been like a general, whenever he's posted something, one of his, good, uplifting, whatever's, I just, give it a like.
You see, this conversation has come up on the crew day before, which led to Suge tweeting at Dustin asking about Black Rain, and Suge still to this day is blocked by Dustin Rhodes.
Well, I would never ask him about it because I don't remember it. I would never ask him about the whole Marlena Pillman thing. I would never ask him about his addictions. I would never ask anyone about that shit just because it's rude.
Black Rain did come at a really bad time in his career where he was dealing with his addictions and shit like that. So
I would just never do that. Just it's rude,
None of our business at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, if they post about it, then you can say, thoughts with you, or get better, or glad you're out of that spot, something like that. But I'm not going to DM them, or post something directly asking about that. It's just, But unfortunately, in this world, one man's folly can be another man's fair, or at least some tend to think that.
We're getting Fale in WWE too.
I hope not.
Now,
what do you think about the Gorillas being there, Matty?
Okay, I like it. I like it, but as
I was sitting in the drive-thru at Arby's when you texted me that, Matty.
As a lot of people have pointed out, welcome back to the WWE, Camacho. But no, I actually like the fact that we've got the Gorillas of Destiny in WWE as a team. Tonga Loa is much better as a tag team wrestler. I have no idea why in God's green earth they consistently threw him into the New Japan Cup and the fucking G1.
No, I don't know either.
He's not a singles wrestler.
At least he's not. At least he's not going to be Camacho anymore.
No, he ain't going to be Camacho. As I told Alora, Cap, and you're going to get a kick out of this.
One quick comment I have to make in praise of Emma here. That little crossbody she did there to Asuka, it reminded me a little bit of Mick Foley's running knee in the corner because he would kind of get down low when he did it, but she did the crossbody. I like that.
Mick Foley has given Emma his seal of approval too. So
there you go.
And
you were saying something about Alora. And Maddie is gone.
I'm here.
He's back.
What were you saying? Something about Alora? You were like,
I was telling her because before Tonga Loa went to New Japan, he was Camacho. He was a Samoan portrayed as a Hispanic who was the heavy for the former Sin Cara.
Yes, he was.
So what they did was they put a Hispanic,
beautiful release German there,
and you made the Samoan Hispanic, named him Camacho, and they rode out on a lowrider bicycle. This is during the time that you were away, Cap, and it was the funniest fucking thing. As a Hispanic growing up, as a young Hispanic watching wrestling, I was like, "This is bad."
Very rarely do I enjoy stereotypical gags like that. One I always did and always will enjoy was Eddie Guerrero's lowrider. For some reason, it worked because I can imagine Eddie driving around El Paso in a car like that. It's just it looks like Eddie. But other times it's so over the top or so stereotypical that it's like, come on.
Well, like when they had the Mexicals coming out on lawnmowers.
These two guys.
That was also while you were away. Yeah.
These two guys came out in jeans, white muscle shirts, bandanas, on one lowrider bicycle. They came out on the same bicycle.
They're not muscle shirts, Matty. They're wife beaters.
Wife beaters. I'm glad you know that because I didn't know if you guys called them that out there in the UK.
Oh no, we do. We do. No, but like I said, like they had Super Crazy, Juventud Guerrera, and Psychosis riding on lawnmowers as the Mexicals, for God's sake.
That was a Russo thing in 2000, wasn't it?
No, that's WWE.
That was Vince.
Oh, Russo did the pinata on a pole. That was what. I got, because Juventud was in that. That's where I got confused.
Oh, hey, I forgot Drake Younger is there at this point in time. That was such a beautiful reversal into the Oscar lock.
That was, that was very smooth. I like that. At the end of the day, there is just, there's no substitute for an experience, for experience and just being a smooth, solid worker. If you are a smooth, solid worker and can work with just about anybody, you're going to have a career in this business. Because there's so few. We think, oh, everybody that's in WWE or wherever, is a great worker. Like the great, smooth, solid workers are few and far between, and they stick out like a sore thumb in a good way.
Cap, did you see the ending to this match?
I did. I was
beautifully placed spinning heel kick.
Yeah.
Oh,
very well done.
I forgot. Like that was like the full foot was right here on Emma's face, so it looked like she just murdered her with that kick. And for all intents and purposes, Emma might have also apparently JC Jane broke her nose on NXT this last week.
Did she?
Oh, dude!
I like how he did the NBA referee thing.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I think we may see a bit more under Triple H is, back in the day, each referee kind of had their own personality a little bit.
Yeah.
It didn't seem
we were talking about this yesterday.
So-and-so's refereeing this match.
Certain refs you think of Charles Robinson, you think of Nick Patrick, you think of the Hetners,
Randy
Eller. There's certain guys that will always stick out in your head.
Tommy Young.
They have their own, obviously. But they have their own, and to a certain extent, Bill Alfonso. They had their own way of doing things.
Yes. And it made the match, it was very subtle, but it would make the match unique. Like how Earl Hebner always refereed Bret Hart's matches. Earl was your classic, just straightforward referee. But it worked with Bret because Bret was the technical, straightforward guy.
I like that they had
another referee, but Tim White, another good one. Always liked him. I like
that they had Finn Balor, Enzo, and Cass coming into the building together.
Well, they have to try and get Enzo and Cass over somehow.
Well, no. So here's the thing.
So where do I need to go?
Here's the thing, and a lot of people forget. Enzo and Cass were over as fuck with the NXT and the main roster.
Next match.
Oh, the next match? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that Enzo and Cass were over as shit in NXT and in main roster. It's once they got to the main roster, what do we do with tag teams? Tag teams are made to build one star.
Yeah, and unfortunately that one star was Big Cass, who still didn't know how to wrestle.
No. Enzo could get everything over with his words. Enzo was so good on the mic that they didn't really have to be that good in the ring if they still won.
No, Enzo was great on the microphone. I'm never denying his ability.
Enzo was phenomenal on the microphone, and Cass
was terrible at everything else.
Yeah, Cass was Billy Gunn. Cass only had to say one fucking line and do his fucking hot tag.
Well, you look back at the what made the Freebirds work so well was that you had Michael Hayes, whose work was the shits, but was a great talker and would occasionally do the 6-man thing. But he always had Garvin or he had Gordy, and that's just fine if you've got a guy whose work is the shits because he doesn't he doesn't get in that can work.
Yeah.
But if you've just got two guys, you can't have one who's the absolute shits and another who's carrying the entire load.
The thing about this match is the Revival are arguably the best tag team on the planet.
Yes.
And at this point
they
were the best tag team on the planet.
At this point in time,
the Usos were still going strong, though, right? I mean,
at this point in time, the top 5 tag teams that were currently going were Dash and Dawson, the New Day, the Usos, the Bucks, and the Briscoes. It was those 5 tag teams that you considered the best going.
Were the Motor City Machine Guns still going at this? I think they were.
Split at this point.
I think Shelley was taking his hiatus at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
And that was one of the few bright spots in TNA that when I would occasionally look in on the business during this time, that was one of the few bright spots is I liked Sabin and Shelley.
Beer
Money. I like Beer Money. They were also around, I believe, during this time.
I'm so glad that you will get to see the magnitude of Bobby Roode in NXT.
Mate. The fact that they didn't know, Vince didn't know what to do with Bobby on the main roster, made no goddamn sense. Because Triple H showed what you do.
Himself.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's how you should book Bobby Roode. You book him like Triple H. You book him as the businessman, the old school wrestler in a new school environment that wants to make everything about him.
The professional.
I'm on a commercial at the moment, by the way.
Me too.
We're just on Enzo's entrance.
Okay.
But yeah, no, without a shadow of a doubt, NXT knew how to book the people that they brought in. They knew how to book Joe. They knew how to book Nakamura. They knew how to book Austin.
So I've got the entrances just starting for Enzo and.
I'll just tell us when you get to after the entrances, and I'll put.
I'm talking about pubic hair and skin. Apparently.
One tends to follow the other. Who is the Gwen Stefani looking gal with these two?
That's Carmella. You know, the Queen of Staten Island. The Miss Money in the Bank that was with Ellsworth. That's Carmella.
I'm drawing a blank.
The one that's currently married to Corey Graves.
Yes, Corey Graves' wife.
Okay.
She's still wrestling, but she just had a kid.
Yeah.
You'll know her whenever you see her currently because she does look so... I think it was because her gimmick was she was Enzo's hairdresser.
Yeah.
So she looks so much different than what she grew into on the main roster.
Brilliant.
Which is insane. Okay, I'm finally getting entrances, guys.
You said to pause when, Nick?
I will pause now after Enzo has just made his if I had a pound joke. So tell me when you get up to that.
If I had a pound.
Cass just grabbed the mic and gave a big yell, so I paused.
Yeah. Oh, no, keep playing.
Okay.
Tell me when Enzo's done his pound joke.
All right. Well, let me turn my volume up here so I can catch it.
Basically whips a quid out of his pocket and says, if I had a pound, for every time we got beat down, didn't get back up, I'd have £0.
These guys have the crowd in the palm of their hands.
Yeah.
This is Big Cass, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that.
Can't teach him to wrestle for another 6 years either.
He's only good as a heavy in a tag team, I think, dude.
I don't know. He's got singles potential. Big Cass.
He's pulling out the pound note.
Yeah.
Or the
pound coin, my friend. Pound coin. We don't do pound notes over here.
I thought...
£1 coin, £2 coin, £5 note.
Okay.
£10 note, £20 note, £50 note, £100 note, done.
Right,
But you'll never see anyone carrying 50s or 100s.
Okay, I just paused it after he did the what have you.
Right,
When did they stop doing £1 notes?
1976.
Oh wow, okay.
all right. So they're in the ring.
Has he done his pound gag yet?
Cass just said, "How you doing?"
Okay, so
Right,
you're
well,
almost
Tell
there.
us when he's done his £1 joke, and then we'll all press play.
How you doing? How you doing?
Should be at 29 minutes and 31 seconds.
29:31. Cool. Let me just fast
29.
forward.
And it's still pounds and pence, correct?
Yes.
Is there
No, still pounds and pence.
pounds and pence. All right.
You said 29:31. You boys got
29, 31.
2, 1, go.
Play.
All right.
All right, how you doing?
I am really looking forward to hearing this entrance music. I love the revival's old music. So yeah.
So here's the thing. I love the revival music for the revival. I love the FTR music for FTR. I think both themes fit for what they are doing at the moment.
FTR's music was a Tony Khan decision, and it was one of the few ones I agree with.
Well, they're an old school 80s, 90s throwback tag team. So you
they're the Midnight
that retro music.
Well, they gave him Midnight Express music, and it was perfect.
Yeah, you give them that retro style entrance, and it's awesome. But for the revival, that like hard toned, like southern rock, that fit perfectly for what the revival were and what they talked about.
Quick question. The whole Adam Pearce red suit shout out to Jim Cornette.
Yeah, you need the tennis racket.
I was about to say, was that just a shout out, or do you think Corny's going to be doing something with WWE now?
I think that was just a shout out.
It was a shout out because he said something about it on Twitter beforehand, and then
he put a video. Cornette put a video up that I haven't got a chance to watch yet. But you think the Midnight Express is not yet in the Hall of Fame? Which is a disgrace.
Crime. It's a crime.
He inducted the Rock and Roll Express.
Yes,
but
he did.
They need to put him, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, and Dennis Condrey. All four of them need to go in the Hall of Fame.
I would agree.
And maybe Triple H can just build that bridge, even though Cornette, for some reason, still holds such a fucking grudge against Hunter over the curtain call, which I get it,
it was 30 years ago.
It was so long ago. Just and he's more than made up for it. Just let some shit go.
The
thing with Cornette is Cornette will do anything to get views on his podcast.
I don't really begrudge him that, but at some point, let it go.
See, Punk needs to induct Jim.
I mean, that would be appropriate because Punk was in Ring of Honor when Cornette was there.
I agree, Jimmy.
And they're both super polarizing guys. I mean, I would have no problem with it.
Seeing the revival in this match.
Or you could have Heyman induct Cornette.
The next show that we're doing being Dallas.
Yeah.
We go from one of the revival's not best tag matches to arguably the greatest match that they had under the WWE banner next year.
Yeah, why?
When did Dax hurt his knee?
Say that again?
When did Dax hurt his knee really bad? Because I know
about 2018.
Okay. It was during their main roster run.
Actually, I noticed he's not wearing that heavy knee brace at this point, so I figured it had to be after this.
Because you have to remember they did the whole angle where they hurt Kofi, and then not too long after Dax was out. So I think it was actually 2016 that Dax hurt his. It's either 16 or 17 that Dax hurt his knee. Because it was not long after they were doing the whole "we broke Kofi's leg" thing.
Is it just me? Now, this is my first time watching Enzo, but I'm getting some Logan Paul vibes here. I'm sorry.
That's an insult to Logan.
Jimmy has no cartilage in his knee, bone just rubbing together.
Yeah. which for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, I don't have that particular problem yet, but my right knee is really fucked.
With my back.
If you've never experienced that, if you know someone who does, they will tell you it is absolute fuck agony.
Yeah, I have bad knees.
I've got my right knee is really fucked from too much backyard wrestling when I was younger, and just me being a clumsy blonde. I've fallen many times.
And your dog and
well, that was my ribs. That was my ribs and my tailbone.
I busted my tailbone backyard wrestling. We had a mattress on the edge of a trampoline. So I did a flying elbow drop off the trampoline onto the mattress and didn't realize that under the mattress was a load of concrete.
Mm.
Yeah, it landed right on my tailbone, shattered it to dust.
Too many Boston crabs, too many sharpshooters, too many scorpion deathlocks, too many chairs to the knee.
You told me about the chair to the knee, and I was like, "That's brother shooting."
Well, we didn't know any better back in the day. It was all a shoot.
But
you didn't have a clue when you were a kid. You just beat the shit out of each other.
Me and Devin definitely have stories. Like I've said before on here, I dislocated both of my knees jumping off a house doing a crossbody.
Well,
my first concussion came from a botched code breaker.
Our spot where we wrestled, it was not dirt, it was not grass, it was gravel. And I, for some reason, thought I could just do the Bobby Eaton knee drop from the top rope to gravel, and nothing would, there would be no lasting effects from knee drops.
You were young and stupid.
Got my first concussion. I took a DDT on a wooden railroad tie. Mm-hmm. I was in 6th grade.
My first concussion was a brain buster in primary school. See, but our primary school didn't have any grass. We just had concrete. So we all used to wrestle on concrete. And
never did that.
Let me right open, gave me a concussion, knocked me out for like an hour.
I want to say, because first concussion came from a botched code breaker, but I want to say I was in 7th, 8th grade for that.
I was 8.
Yeah, see that? I think I once gave Devin an electric chair on accident when he was like 5.
What do you mean on accident?
On accident.
Well, you see, I was standing straight, and then just
if this were a position, the barristers would be laughing at you.
he went back. He went back. I sure as shit didn't have the strength to hold both of us up, so I just went back with it.
I remember once it was an I Quit match or something like that. My opponent did the handcuff spot with the chair, the Rock Foley handcuff spot with the chair. You take a few shots to the head with a chair, it'll
Where did you get handcuffs?
One of our mutual friends, his dad was a city cop, and he obtained the cuffs. It was an old set his dad had, and during the match, I forget how long into it, but hooked me up, grabbed a steel folding chair, and walloped me in the noggin several times until he knocked me out.
I was smart enough to know, even at a young age, that those chairs are a lot stiffer than what I see on TV. So anytime that...
Yes, they're incredibly stiff.
Yeah, so anytime that we would wrestle with those, it would literally be like, hey, we're going to do a spot onto it. We're not swinging it at heads, but I'll take a chair shot to the back. And here's the thing. That carried over into like my workplace whenever I worked at Walmart, because like we had these sheet pans, right?
Yep.
And because I've taken so many shots to the head, like from a legit chair, I told one of my coworkers, I was like, hey, I bet you $5 you can smash me over the head with this, and I'll no-sell it. Like, I won't do shit. Not even a flinch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that led to a lot of stupid shit that I would do at work. I once did I jumped off of something into our cardboard. Yeah, no. I am a walking OSHA violate. Oh my god!
Enzo can't even do a crossbody.
Yeah.
That wasn't the crossbody I was talking about. So here's the thing. That spot that they did here was planned.
Got to relieve some ballast. I'm still listening, fellas.
This spot happens on the main roster. I believe it was with the Vaudevillains.
Yeah. What do you mean when he hits the ropes?
And Enzo hits the ropes with the side of his face.
Yeah, that wasn't on the main roster. That was an NXT takeover.
No, it was. I'm pretty sure it was on the main roster when Enzo.
No, trust me, dude. It was on NXT when he KOs himself on the bottom rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in NXT.
I know it was against the Vaudevillains.
Yeah, it was. That was in NXT.
Where he got stretchered out and everything.
Yeah. And where the Vaudevillains basically said, I'll never wrestle him again. He can't do anything. It's just insane how over Enzo actually was, considering he's probably the worst wrestler in the history of WWE, other than James Ellsworth.
Oh, shit. I guess he also got knocked out 3 years ago during a match.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago on the Indies.
It's funny because this is, like I said, I think this is the worst match on the show.
And it's still pretty fucking good.
It's still not a bad match. It just shows how good takeovers were. That it's virtually, well, it's not impossible, but it's damn hard to find the worst match.
Okay, so, Nick, I hate to point out that you are wrong for once. It was whenever the Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass were on Raw.
Ah, okay.
Is whenever he had to get stretchered out. I believe the other incident that you're referring to with Simon Gotch was at a live event.
Ah, okay.
Because Simon Gotch hates Enzo Amore.
I can't stand him.
Well, anyone with the last name Gotch, if you're familiar with, Frank Gotch, legendary wrestler from the 20s and 30s.
That's where the gimmick comes from.
Is going to be
and
he hates Enzo.
The thing about
dismayed
Simon
by
Gotch,
those types of antics.
The thing about Gotch or Grimm, however he's going by at the time, dude is like serious about pro wrestling.
Oh,
To Drip King's point real quick, I know it's here in the comments. No, these are not the toy handcuffs from Toys R Us that have the little trip latch on the side. These were legit handcuffs from a friend whose dad was a police officer that you had to have a key. And I did not have the key. That's why I took the shots to the noggin. Those Toys R Us ones, they had the key.
While you're there, what takeover did you want to join us for?
Oh, yeah. Jim, which takeover did you want to join us for? Because the next one in 2 weeks is going to be Dallas.
Is the tagline on that one, who shot JR?
No, the tagline of Dallas is, holy shit, how is this better than WrestleMania?
Yeah, it was. Takeover Dallas is probably the best takeover they ever did.
Okay, so it's
Takeover Dallas, you say, is the best one they ever did?
In no particular order. My top 5 are Dallas, Phoenix, San Antonio, New Orleans, and Portland. Phoenix being the debut of the North American title. San Antonio, I know the whole show was good. That's the reason I have that there. Dallas, for reasons that we're going to talk about in 2 weeks.
New Orleans. Okay, Jim. Well, I will send you the link when we get to New Orleans.
New Orleans top 3. Fuck out of here.
New Orleans 3 takeover.
I have no frame of reference here, Jim. I'm I'm the guy getting educated here.
If I remember correctly, Takeover New Orleans was one of the best takeovers I'd ever watched.
Yeah. I'll be honest, though, I can't remember who the main event was in New Orleans.
One thing I did want to ask Nick, because this is a wrestler that Maddie's really gotten me into to the point where I'm just searching his shit out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Oliver.
No,
what are your thoughts on Jordan Oliver?
Jimmy is right. The latter match was at New Orleans. The Phoenix one was Adam Cole versus Ricochet.
Yeah. Jordan Oliver.
Right. Indie guy.
Wrestled for GCW.
GCW Jordan Oliver?
Pardon?
Yes.
You mean GCW is Jordan Oliver and JCW is Jordan Oliver?
Maddie has turned me into a huge Jordan Oliver fan.
Jordan's great. The only problem is he's booked as a babyface, but he should be a heel.
He is such a good heel. He is such a good heel. Devin
he should never be booked as a babyface unless he is facing a much bigger competitor, and it's sort of a David Goliath thing. Jordan Oliver should be booked as a heel. He is too damn good as a heel to be booked otherwise.
Did he actually? Has he wrestled Nick Wayne yet?
I want to say I know he's wrestled Nick Wayne. I know they were a tag team for a long time.
Yeah, they were a tag team for a while because they were the West Coast Express.
Yeah.
Sorry, the East Coast Express.
East Coast Express, yes. I watched a tag match of theirs, but I don't think I've seen them one-on-one. I did watch an East Coast Express tag match.
Bounty Hunter Brian. Look for Jordan Oliver versus Bounty Hunter Brian Keith. That's a really good match.
Versus Bounty Hunter who?
Brian Keith.
Brian Keith? Okay.
Get over the fact that his pants are to his ribs, but Brian Keith is a damn good wrestler.
There he is. When he's not breaking people's jaws.
Whose jaw did he break?
I just love Jordan Oliver. There's only
you know the Workhorseman?
Oh, is he who broke Anthony Henry's jaw?
Yeah, he broke Anthony Henry's jaw.
Okay. And Jimmy also said it was Gargano Ciampa unsanctioned for New Orleans. Yeah, that's why New Orleans was one of the better ones.
I'm actually going to find that, and I may watch that whenever this is done.
Yeah, because we've got one more match, and they're about to hit the finish, I believe.
Yeah, this is over. This is very over.
Brian Keith or Brian Cage?
Brian Keith.
Okay.
Also, Enzo and Cass never being NXT Tag Team Champions. I understand that it was the Revival's long run in NXT, but the fact that Enzo and Cass never won the title surprises me.
No, it makes sense to me. They didn't need the belts.
You got Jay Roberts.
If Coach Jay Roberts titles are there to make stars. If you don't use them, don't need them.
I don't see it on YouTube anywhere.
It's not going to be on YouTube.
If that be on YouTube, you're going to have to find it on GCW stuff.
Well, GCW has a YouTube channel with a fair amount of content, but I didn't see that match there or elsewhere.
Hold on. Was it GCW or was it DPW?
Might have been JCW.
Oh, JCW, Jersey Championship?
I just had a bad thought for what the acronym DPW could stand for.
Well, you will be happy to know it stands for. You will be happy to know it stands for Deadlock Pro. It's much more of you remember how Cornette does the whole outlaw indie
Mud show.
Yeah. Well, it's take out Mud Show. Just do outlaw indie, and that's kind of
there you go. I just found it, mate, on YouTube. 20 minutes, 4 seconds. New South Pro Wrestling.
New South.
Okay, shoot it over to my Twitter, my Twitter.
Also, this match came to a very impressive end as Enzo took a top rope shatter machine. I'm still going to call it the Big Rig because you don't just call it the Big Rig, say it's a tribute to Brody Lee, and then change it back.
Cap, I'm just going to post it on my timeline. Grab it from there.
Okay. Another question. I'm not because I completely missed Backlash yesterday. Family commitments. Did they do anything with Uncle Howdy?
They did not, but I believe there was a QR. There was a guy with a QR sign, I think, that walked by.
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
You know where they do the whole walking by with the sign in the background.
The important thing is that Braun Strowman is back.
and he's not
Eric
really
Redbeard.
part of it.
No, it's really weird. Not yet. He's not. Eric Redbeard is going to be part of it. Bo is obviously going to be part of it, and by the sounds of it, Alexa is also going to be part of it.
It has to be Alexa, dude. It has to be Alexa. So here's
Okay.
I know that we've seen so many things.
I got it, Nick. Thank you.
I know that we've seen so many things that it's like it's gonna be Bo, Eric, Alexa, Dexter Loomis, Nikki Cross, and Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy is the only person that I can like mentally think of that would fit the bill there.
I honestly can't wait to see what they do because I love Bo. I haven't got to see very much. I've seen maybe a half dozen of his matches, but I loved Uncle Howdy again because I loved just about everything Bray did for the most part, and this could be a nice continuation of that. And I think if they do it right and let things happen, Bo could easily fill those shoes of Bray in that role. Oh
yeah,
just because I always have this, I always try to live by this rule here. DNA don't lie in wrestling.
That makes sense.
It's pretty tough to be from a certain lineage and not get the business to some degree, shape, or the Armstrong brothers. Okay, yeah, they all got the business, but each one of them got a different aspect of it.
Yeah.
Loomis and Gacy make zero sense to me, Jimmy says. Loomis makes absolutely no sense to me. Gacy, I can see because kind of looks like Bray. The way that Bray was doing the schism down in NXT, I agree with that as well, Jim.
Where do I need to go to, Nick?
3708.
3708.
3708. No. For NXT, like for this show, like where?
Yeah.
1 hour 3708.
Oh, 13708. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I just missed off the one.
You're good. You are good.
No, but to talk about this match is, in my opinion, Triple H using Samoa Joe to solidify Finn. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Finn was
using an older star to get a newer star over.
Finn to the hardcore audience.
We have 3 minutes. We have 3 minutes just because I've got commercials.
Finn to the hardcore audience was a well-known wrestler from Japan. Everybody knew who Finn Balor was, or Prince Devitt. But to the NXT audience and to the wider audience, nobody really knew who Finn was at this point. They knew he was a good worker, but they didn't know anything else about him. So I actually say it's a case of using a well-established star like Joe to really drive home that this guy is the guy.
You said 1 hour, 38 minutes?
And 8 seconds.
138.
I still have 2 minutes worth of commercials.
Yeah, I just got another commercial.
You see, well, if you paid for the decent level of the network, you wouldn't have this issue, gents.
Here's the thing.
We don't even get the network over here. We got the cock.
Right? So get a VPN, boys.
I tried. I don't think a VPN works on my. I don't think a VPN works on my TV.
It doesn't, dude. You don't need it to work on your TV. You need to work on your laptop. Then you plug an HDMI cable into the back of your laptop. Boom, problem solved.
Do you know where I am right now, Nick?
Yeah, you live in the mountains. You've still got an HDMI cable in your TV.
I'm in my kitchen.
My
TV be over there.
Well, get a really long HDMI cable. I used to have a 36-foot one for my old flat.
Holy moly.
I had a 36-foot HDMI and a 36-foot Ethernet cable. Because I used to live above a pub and it was a really long flat and it was really long distance from the router to the lounge.
Well, here's the thing. I've had Ethernet cables that go that long just because I wanted my shit to work for WrestleBuddy, right?
Yeah.
I still
honestly, for whatever reason, my Ethernet doesn't work very well for this type of thing. It works pretty good for work, but for this, I always wind up having to switch to my Wi-Fi.
Well, here's the thing, because when we were working for the buddy, the whole Ethernet, using the Ethernet.
You said 138.08, Nick?
Say again?
138.08?
137.08.
137.08. Oh, okay.
Because I don't want you to miss any of Finn's entrance, because this is the best entrance Finn Balor ever did in NXT.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, Jack the Ripper, mate.
Jack the Ripper is very good, but he's done some phenomenal entrances.
In NXT,
Nah, dude.
yes. In NXT, you're right.
Yeah, not on the main roster, but in NXT it is.
No, I was just talking as a whole. Like,
As a whole, his best ever entrance was in Progress, and it was when he came out as Freddy Krueger.
I still think it's New Japan when he kicks the fucking
137.08.
When he kicks the coffin door off.
When he kicks the coffin door off and comes out as.
You know what he was? Do you know what he was? No, it wasn't either. He was a Titan from Attack on Titan.
Was he?
Yeah, he's the Colossal Titan from Attack on Titan.
I don't even think that came out yet.
Nah, the manga did, my friend.
Good point. Finn Balor coffin entrance. I will say that we are all. I am saying.
Right. In that case, gentlemen, in 3, 2, 1, play.
All right. I've got Samoa Joe.
Yep, doing his entrance.
Boo, boo, boo. Is this whenever they were using Joe's really shitty, like, drum beat entrance?
Yeah.
All right. When did Joe make the jump from TNA to NXT?
Well, he left TNA in 2011.
Okay.
No, 2014.
I was thinking. I remember seeing him somewhere around there because I was out of the business. I would just occasionally kind of peep in.
Nick, that's Carnage. I'm going to send it to you real quick.
To see what was going on. I would watch like highlights of Raw, highlights of Impact, what have you.
Yeah, I just sent it to our Facebook group chat. That he definitely entered as Carnage. But Cap, I'm going to shut the fuck up. Nick is probably going to be quiet. Pay attention to this entrance.
Yeah.
All righty. God, I love this already.
I thought you would.
Me and my partner are total true crime junkies, so we watch tons of stuff, and we watched a lot of stuff on Jack the Ripper.
Told you, man. You need to watch. What the hell's that YouTube channel called? No, that's a Titan from Attack on Titan, mate.
Bro, that is literally Carnage's face on his face.
No, it's not. That's the Colossal Titan from Attack on Titan.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive. Because I've watched an interview with Finn Balor where he talks about it.
It looks much more like Carnage than a Titan. The red...
Yeah, but it looks like the Colossal Titan, which is what it's supposed to be.
Also, if you're at all familiar with the film London After Midnight, an old school silent film, the hat very much reminds me of, God, what was the actor's name?
Patrick Mulholland.
No. No, the original London After Midnight, Lon Chaney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 1920s silent era. That had I got the Ripper part, but also I was having flashbacks to London After Midnight with Lon Chaney.
This match, in my opinion, is Joe's best piece of work in WWE. Other than Shinsuke Nakamura.
I think we might just have to agree to disagree unless you can find that interview, because it looks so much more like Carnage than the Colossal Titan to me.
Well, we shall agree to disagree because I ain't got a chance of finding an interview.
I was about to say
Japanese interview.
I was about to say exactly, Nick. We will agree to disagree. We're both right. That's all that matters.
Yeah, because that interview was from a Japanese Comic-Con, my friend.
I was about to say all that matters is we are both right. Neither of us are wrong.
Yeah,
we will both take the W.
Finn Balor.
Matty, are you going to be able to do baseball tonight?
Yes, I will be available for baseball. Did you guys just hear what Alora said?
No.
Balor could do a phenomenal Darth Maul. They're about the same height.
Yeah.
Also, yes, Jack the Ripper Finn Balor might be my favorite entrance attire he's ever had. He is still talking about Gacy to Bray Wyatt. They don't have any real ties like how Bray
there's no
Wyatt,
link at all. There's no link at all. Eric makes perfect sense. Braun would have made perfect sense. Alexa makes perfect sense. Gacy and Loomis make no sense.
Loomis, Gacy, and Cross, because that's the sixth person that they lump in there. And the only way that Cross gets in there is because of her tie to Bliss.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't like that. However,
I'm not too big on hypotheticals and what ifs, but I do have to pose this one with you two here. Say Finn Balor, he gets the main roster, he wins the title, he doesn't have the neck injury. Do you think he gets hugely big, or does Vince not know what to do with him?
Finn Balor's title run, as soon as he debuted and won that title, he would have held it for at least a year. You don't just put your brand new Universal title on someone you just called up from NXT if you don't have big plans.
No.
And unfortunately,
if he doesn't have the neck injury, does Finn hit that superstar? I know W calls everybody superstar, but I'm talking like the legit superstar.
No. I think Finn would have been pushed. Finn would have been pushed to the moon if he hadn't got injured. The only problem is he got injured and Vince labeled him as injury prone.
If Finn Balor never got hurt, I can guarantee you we would still be talking about Finn Balor as one of the greatest WWE imports of all time.
Yeah.
I've thought about it multiple ways, and I keep coming back to the fact that due to his size, I think Vince would have eventually just bailed on him.
Bro, Vince booked him to beat Roman.
I know. But I'm saying, you know how Vince likes his big guys. He likes his smaller guys, and then he wanes on them.
He likes his supernatural gimmicks, though.
He saw his Shawn Michaels with a spooky edge in Finn Balor. And it was just unfortunate that he got that shoulder injury because Vince instantly labeled him as injury prone.
Yeah.
Is that Big Ben painted onto his back?
Injury that happened to Finn. I thought it was
It's his shoulder basically shot through his labrum.
Yeah.
So
was that the same injury Cena had around that time?
Yes.
I want to
say one that John came back from in Super Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Finn was taking a buckle bomb essentially, but into the barricade. And when he went to brace himself, his shoulder elbow is what hit first. And you saw the shoulder go straight through his muscle.
And credit where credit is due, he kept wrestling for 15 minutes.
This motherfucker knew that he dislocated his shoulder, did something to it, and you see him grab right here and force it back into place.
Yeah.
He finishes
I don't really believe there's such a thing as a bad move. I don't believe in banning maneuvers specifically, but I am a fan of saying, okay, only so-and-so is allowed to do this move because they know what the fuck they're doing.
But even Seth, he's had 2 freak accidents. Only 2. Sting
3.
And Finn. Who's the third?
You forgot Cena's nose.
Okay. Yes, but I was talking the buckle bombs. It was just the buckle.
Yeah, that was a knee.
That was Finn
Sting's age at the time.
putting his knee into Cena's face.
Sting was by no means a young man when that happened.
No,
I think it was
Sting is one
over and over and over, and I think it was just more of a
Sting-
freak accident than Seth not taking care of it.
Well, no, Sting has said 1,000 times it's not Seth's fault, it was my fault. I didn't protect myself properly. It's like we were saying earlier on, it's a two-way street.
Yes.
It's not just a guy doing a move. You have to
working
together on that move.
There's trying to work together and freak accidents happening. Then there's someone that goes into business for themselves and hurts somebody because they either don't know what the hell they're doing or they have some kind of a, axe to grind, what have you.
Well, like recently announced Drew Gulak deliberately redislocating somebody's fingers in a match to test them.
Yeah, that's not a fucking test, bro.
That shit I'm completely against.
No, it's ridiculous.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't give a shit.
Man has a living parent, a family to support. You don't do that shit.
I don't care where you are on the card. You're not going to make an example out of me like that just to see if I can handle it. You do something and I know you do it intentionally like that, I'm breaking your fucking nose.
Yes. Numero uno rule number 1 in pro wrestling is you do not intentionally hurt the other guy.
You protect your opponent at all times.
Cap, I want you to pay very close attention.
Someone may do the same. You may get your receipt.
Cap, I want you to pay very close attention to like the next 3 or so minutes.
Okay.
Because that's when Joe rubs his eye up against the top rope. And you can tell that it wasn't meant to happen.
Oh, you can tell pretty quickly when it's the hard way.
Oh, it's hard way.
Yeah, pay attention. Pay attention. It's about to happen.
I got my good eye on this and my bad eye on you.
Ooh.
I got both my bad eyes on this.
So elbow to the head, Finn goes into the corner. Joe's hitting him with the punches. Body blows, chin.
Boom.
Another thing I've noticed, and I'm saying this in a good way, the NXT, the referees are actually being referees.
Yeah.
They're enforcing the rules as opposed to in this era, you had a lot of referees that were just spare pricks at the wedding.
Yeah.
Just there.
Yeah. Just a guy in zebra stripes just there.
The thing is, a lot of people
rules to wrestling, and if they're actually enforced in a match, it's something great to work with and work around.
It's a difficult job to be a referee in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Because you've got to find a balance between enforcing the rules and not making yourself part of the match.
Well, also, Jake Roberts started out as a referee, and he said several times in interviews, he said that is probably the best way for someone to break into the business, apart from being a worker, is to be a referee because you learn instantly. Yeah,
Jeff Jarrett.
You learn instantly what works and what doesn't because you're watching it in real time in the ring.
Best seat in the house.
Yeah, bingo. And a lot of times, someone like Nick Patrick, who was a wrestler, tore his knee apart, became a referee, and was damn good at it because he got it. He understood.
Same with Chuck. Not the wrestling part, but Little Nate always got where he needed to be. Charles Robinson always got where he needed to be, when he needed to be. He was always in the right place at the right time.
Brian Hildebrand, another one. Mark Curtis. Wanted to be a wrestler, just didn't have the size, whatever. Became a great referee. Unfortunately, died way too young. Similar
to John Pee Wee Moore from ECW. Wanted to be a wrestler, never really got into the business as a wrestler, became a
speaking of ECW refs, Van Damme's manager.
Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso, yes. Okay, I'm still watching this. I haven't seen the spot yet. The hard way spot.
It's not yet.
It should be coming any minute now because I thought it happened real early in the match.
Joe just dropped the knee on Dollar's head. There's the cover. Joe is just built you've heard people have built like brick shit houses, built like human tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Samoa Joe is just fucking built. he's built like Maddie's little brother Devin. Devin is built like Samoa Joe, just big, thick, beefy dude.
Yeah. Wash, face wash. Finn's selling at this point in his career was so good. Look at his face.
I see a lot in Balor and in Rhea, similarities in their selling. They sell with the face very, very well.
This is Demon Balor too. So like this was Joe showing that the Demon had.
Mike, your face is not on camera.
There you are.
Now your face is on camera.
There we go. This point in like this match also shows that like there were ways to get to the Demon. And it's through sheer brute force, violence, and not letting up.
Through violence.
Nick, you'll like this. I was actually talking with Maddie the other day. We kind of agreed. This is like the closest I've ever been to like the old school tape trading days, where if a buddy had a particular tape that was like very valued, he wouldn't loan it out, but he would invite you over to watch it.
Yeah,
and this is kind of what. Like this reminds me of like the old school tape trading days where we would just hang out on the Saturdays. Like, oh, well, you've got this event, I've got that event. We'll bring them both. We'll get some pizza and we'll watch them both. Since we don't want to trade them, but we'll watch them both together.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Except we're now in the age of
youth in a good way.
Now, Cap, remember how I told you that Ciampa's NXT title run was on level with Harley Race? Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Nick,
we need to discuss this.
Nick actually had a very good family tree way of explaining it.
Yeah. So, the best way to describe the comparison to Harley Race is he is a second cousin to Harley Race.
Okay.
Triple H is Harley's cousin.
Yeah.
Because Triple H is very similar to Harley Race, especially during his Reign of Terror days.
Yes.
There's a very similar aspect of Harley. Well, Ciampa is kind of like he was trained by to be like Harley. So it's as if Triple H is Harley's first cousin and Ciampa is his second.
I do kind of see that. I mean, I've seen tons of Triple H matches. I haven't seen a great deal of Ciampa. I've seen probably a dozen Ciampa matches. I do get the
problem with Ciampa on the main roster is, unfortunately, him and Gargano just are not over the way they were 10 years ago. Like, they're just not. In NXT, they were like gods. Whereas on the main roster,
they were supposed to be NXT lifers, like NXT for life.
Yeah, I kind of figured they would be, but Triple H.
I really like Gargano. Ciampa, I've never been sold on him for whatever reason.
It's his. No, you need to watch his heel run, mate. Ciampa's one of them guys. Yeah, Ciampa's one of them guys that doesn't really work as a babyface. He's you put him in the right role.
Sorry, he's got that babyface fire. He's got the fire to project that he can be a babyface. However, it's when he puts that fire towards hating someone.
His maniacal heel run is just like the Gargano feud is second to none in NXT, with the exception of the pandemic match.
Maddie, one of the times you were down here, we watched Ciampa Gargano. It was one of their trilogies.
I want to say I showed you the really shitty empty arena one.
No, it wasn't the empty arena. It was the. They fought all over the place, but it wasn't the empty arena.
Were they fighting on top of a truck at one point?
Gosh, I was so drunk.
I think it was it was the non-sanctioned.
Yeah, the one where they fought on top of a truck.
We will get to that match.
I think this was still in an arena, though.
Yeah, it was in the Performance Center. It was in the Performance Center, except they ended up outside. They fought on top of a truck.
This one had people there. This one had people.
No, this was New Orleans. This was New Orleans, I believe, that I showed him.
Oh, that's a phenomenal match.
One of NXT's greatest matches all time.
But yet again, it's still not Pete Ciampa.
It's still not what? Peak Ciampa?
Ciampa.
No, Peak Ciampa
Goldie.
is like 6. Peak Ciampa is like 6
right,
months
that's
into
a
his
spot
title
that
run.
I have to.
Right.
Balor knows he cannot stand in the corner and just chop Joe and it have the same, but he runs into it like that. It's subtle, but I can't just stand fist to fist. But if I put my body and my momentum in it, it's so subtle, but damn, it tells a story.
This is the thing. You can really tell the guys that work in Japan when they come over here, even if you have no
much more
connection
stiff
to them. Yeah, even if you have no connection to them, it's not even that they're much more stiff. They understand how to lay in a shot and make it look harder.
Yes, whether you've watched Japan or guys from Japan in the States, yes, that is absolutely, and that was why WCW like 95, 96, 90, they had so many Japanese guys coming through, and I would watch matches with the Japanese guys and be like, these guys just. And I go back today, and it's like, man, these guys just knew how to work better than a lot of the other guys on the roster.
Well, the best example in modern wrestling is Jay White.
Oh, yeah.
Jay White is
so young still.
Minor rant, the most chronically misused signing in AEW history.
Yes.
I will agree there. Apart from maybe, I hate what they're doing with Okada. But yes, Jay White completely.
Right. I'm gonna run. Okay,
hold on. Time out. I like what they're doing with Okada. I don't like that he's with the Bucks, but I like that they're making him the comic heel, which he's never been able to do in his career.
No.
I don't like the fact he's with the Bucks. He's too good to be with those jackasses.
Here's the thing. Tony Khan has called Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and Mercedes Moné game-changing title signings, yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
So why are they going for mid-card belts? Will Ospreay is the number one contender for the international title, which means nothing. Kazuchika Okada is the continental champion, which means nothing. And Mercedes Moné is going for the TBS championship, which means nothing. Why are these game-changing signings going for mid-card belts?
Muscle Buster.
That does not make sense.
Didn't Okada drop it to Pac, or did he beat Pac? I can't.
No, he beat Pac.
He beat Pac? Okay.
Pac
used to hold that belt, I think.
Very good match. No, the first person to hold that belt was Kingston.
Yeah, and then Orange Cassidy
held that title at one point. The North, or it was the Atlantic, or they changed the name of it or something.
Oh no, Pac did hold the international title. Yes, that's not the continental title. The continental title was the one that was part of the pointless Triple Crown that they created for no reason.
Okay. Too many damn belts. Too many damn belts.
There are 14 championships active in AEW. Way too many.
That's about.
I like that they're supposedly
that's 9 too many.
They're supposedly consolidating the trios titles.
They already have.
Yeah, they consolidated that at the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, they did that at Dynasty.
But here's the thing. They're still the separate titles.
Yeah, they haven't made new belts yet.
Make it into one belt, and then I won't be so worried.
Mm-hmm. Realistically, the trios titles were the worst thing they ever put in AEW.
They did it just to give the Bucks and Kenny titles.
Yeah, another belt. It boggled the mind because they had the best tag division in the world, and then the trios division completely cannibalized it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's only just starting to recover. I mean, another thing that's pissed me off is AEW's hired the Grizzly Young Veterans. Both the Grizzly Young Veterans, tremendous team, and yet they've lost their first two matches.
I'm under the assumption that they are just on like handshake deals. I don't think that they're signed.
No, but they are getting signed. Rumor would have it.
I don't.
Why have them lose their first two matches? Why?
You shouldn't, because Grizzled Young Veterans are maybe two of the best in-ring tag team workers on the planet.
And Zach Gibson is a phenomenal promo.
Dude, Zach Gibson could have a singles run on his own, but it's because he's tied to James Drake that they're just so much better.
Yeah.
James Drake, also a phenomenal singles wrestler.
By the way, Mike, are you sure you weren't thinking of the Nakamura match where Joe gets busted open hard way?
No, I'm pretty sure it was the London match because I remember him getting pissed off at the referee.
because he still
He's
hasn't.
not bleeding yet.
Yeah,
He has not bled once. Did they edit it? Well,
no, because he'd be covered in blood.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude, was it the?
there's no way to
sure
end it a
it's
hard
London
way.
match. How much is long?
I'm pretty sure it might be the Nakamura match.
Yeah, we still have like 7 minutes. I could have. Dude, I swear it was a match that he had against Balor.
I absolutely love what
Look at
Finn's
that.
doing here. He is using every ounce of strength he has, every bit of momentum.
Yeah.
To try and take down this big bastard he's facing.
Monster.
It's very Mysterio-esque.
Yes.
For some reason, and I don't know why, and Nick, you can completely call me cuckoo tripping on LSD here. When I watch Joe in his submission style, in that particular aspect of his game, I think of Bob Backlund.
No, I'd agree with you.
Okay.
No, I agree with you. It's the same
comparison, and it just
intensity
kinda
that
hit
Bob
me. It's
showed
like-
when Bob was going for a submission, there was a certain amount of intensity in his way
Yeah.
that he applied moves. Joe's the same. There's urgency in his moves when he goes to submission.
The urgency, I was having Bob Backlund flashbacks watching Joe.
And that, my friends, was NXT TakeOver London.
Well, I guess that would be because
Matty,
we
way.
will be catching that match apparently in 2 weeks because I guess that happened at Dallas.
Yes, my friend, I believe it did.
And then the next one after that.
It's okay. Trust me, when you get as old as I am, some shit does run together. You'll think something happened at a certain event.
When you get as old as you are, I'm 41 cap, everything blurs together.
When you get as old as we are, shit starts to run together at some point. It happened to me on a captain's table. I thought it was Heyman managing the Samoan SWAT team. It was what's his name? I can't even remember it. I thought it was Heyman, but it wasn't Heyman. So it happens. The more you watch, the more shit will run together with age.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. All right, gents. Well, that was TakeOver London. Cap, what do you think?
Really enjoyed the Asuka Emma match. I would have liked to have seen FTR against a better team than what we saw.
Well, in 2 weeks, my friend, you will get that match.
I absolutely loved this Joe Finn match. I love Joe. I love Finn. And they worked a near perfect match for how these two different styles should work a match.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Everything makes sense.
Matty?
Yes, Nicholas.
What do you think? I know you've said it before.
I've always loved going back and rewatching shows like this, rewatching specific matches. However, again, time is a construct. I could have swore this is where Joe got busted open hard.
Well, as James Cameron famously said, history is a consensus hallucination of variable facts.
However, this was the match that really showed, like, hey, Joe can get to the demon. Joe can beat Finn
Joe wrestled exactly how Joe should have. Finn wrestled exactly how Finn should have.
It was the match that showed Finn can beat monsters.
Yes.
Because he's a monster himself. Yes. It's very good play. But, gents, we are coming to that time of day, so plug away.
Tonight, Raw Ball, Sunday Night Baseball. It will be me and Matty Money, Matty, whatever nickname he may be known by. It is the Giants and the Phillies. Going to be a really good game tonight. Logan Webb is on the mound for the San Francisco Giants. Always love watching him pitch. He is not quite an artist, but a damn good one. Tuesday night, the Raw Ball podcast. And then not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after that, Matty, is the Preakness.
More horsies.
So we will see if Mystic Dan, the winner of the Derby, can make it 2 in a row and potentially contend for a Triple Crown.
Triple Crown ends there.
I would like to ask, how's the booking going?
So,
When is the next? I need to add that to my calendar.
19th.
I was gonna 19th.
The 19th.
Okay.
For 2 weeks.
That's a Sunday.
2 weeks from
Okay,
now.
let me add that to my calendar right
So
now.
here's the thing.
10 p.m. UK time.
So here's the thing. Jimmy, with this booking, for the main booking at least, gave both of us the big red reset button.
Yes.
Money in the bank. 2020.
Money on the roof. Call it by its proper name.
Money on the
Money on the roof. I love that. Money on the roof.
I remember that show was terrible.
Money on the Roof was the first pay-per-view immediately after WrestleMania.
Yes.
We've got an open slate to do whatever the fuck we want.
Yes.
So
But remember, I'm a git. So
I
from now on, the
I
way these
understand
championship matches will be working, my friend, is chronologically.
I understand.
Which is
that.
why you have to do NXT following that and then Backlash
Exactly.
as the code book.
So
Because
a scheduling question, Nick, in 2 weeks would be that. So are we doing both those shows that day?
we are indeed.
Wrestling with Your Thoughts and okay, so
We
let
are
me.
indeed.
All right.
I can just say with 1,000% honesty.
So we're just going to be like flowing one right into the other, basically. Once one ends, then you start.
We've got about 3 hours in between, I believe.
Well, he said
Yeah,
10 p.m., which would be 4 p.m.
Yeah, well, it's 7:30 here.
Oh,
now.
yeah, that's right. My
So we got about 2.5 hours in between shows, so you have time to get some food.
So here's the thing. I can guarantee both of you gentlemen that Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt does not fucking happen.
Good.
However,
Horrendous.
I don't know how you guys are going to feel about my next thing for Mr. Wyatt. So we will see. We will go. I am very, very excited to see
So am
how
I.
the booking goes.
I am very excited to see how you two do with the most god-awful show in WWE history.
What do you mean? That was so fun.
It was so bad, though, dude. It's so bad. It's like the pandemic era was fantastic for creativity, but unfortunately, the guys who were being creative at WWE weren't that good.
I'm keeping the fun, but we're going to make it make sense.
AJ won the match, but then Otis won the match.
No, it didn't come off of the ladder, so that's why.
No. Doesn't matter. He unhooked the briefcase,
and had
which
possession.
means you win, right? And then because somebody made him drop it, they were like, "Oh, Otis won." What?
I mean,
no, makes no sense.
To be fair, that was the exact methodation to why James Ellsworth was the first women's Money in the Bank winner.
Yeah, exactly.
But
right,
in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back.
We will. And that is the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I love you all. And remember, we are just three geeks obsessed with a good show. And our opinion means nothing without yours in the comments below. See you in 2 weeks.